Hello everybody, it's me, your friendly neighbor, and today we're just gonna be going over like my top favorite figures in my collection. Disclaimer, just because I say these are my favorites doesn't mean my other figures are garbage. I'm just saying, these are my favorite figures overall. And to start off this list, we have the Marvel Legends Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the figure that started it all. This is the very first figure, this is the very first Marvel Legend I bought, this is the very first action figure review I did, and honestly, it's been downhill from here. I guess you could say this is the gateway drug, the 420 blaze. The rest of what came after is the coke, the meth, and the hookers. It's really funny, like, when me and my family first moved, me and my friend went to this corner store, and we just found him sitting there for $8 fucking bucks, and I got him. And it's been uphill ever since. I've been collecting Marvel Legends and other figures ever since. Not as much Marvel Legends anymore because most figures I put out are shit nowadays. But this figure is fucking amazing. I really highly suggest getting this figure if you want. All of its articulation still holds up, and it gets a solid gold star from me. Now you're probably wondering why did I put this at the number 12 list. None of these figures are any specific order. It's just that these are just my favorite figures. Like I mentioned before, overall, none is better than the other except for the number 1 spot, which is my complete favorite. So next on the list, we have the Spider-Man 2002 Superposable Spider-Man. This guy is just fucking amazing. Currently, I'm actually writing a review for this one and the Battle Average Spider-Man, but for all the things it can do, it's fucking great. Posability, once again, is still amazing. As you can see, it even has the fucking web shooter detail, which I know I'm going to address that in the review itself as to why that's there. Articulation is still fucking top notch, except for this joint, but I still like I talk about that in the review as well. Even the painting and sculpting still holds up to this day. Like, I haven't done any wild shit with it, so the paint has held up pretty well, along with all the details and shit. But once again, at number 11, this is the Spider-Man 2002 Spider-Man. At number 10, we have the Marvel Legends Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure Wave Venom. Now, this one is actually used to be the gold standard for Venom action figures. Like, he's got the fucking tongue hanging out, the green saliva goop coming out. The detail of the spider emblem is pretty cool, except it's a little faded around this area. The hands have the little black hole in them, though there's nothing that can plug into that black hole. It's just there for aesthetic purposes. Just everything about this Venom figure is cool, except for that. Also, there is some like paint fades around the spider, but I'll just chalk that up to Hasbro being lazy as fuck. For some reason, there is even a hole in the back right here. I don't know what the fuck that's for. But once again, all around, really great figure. I highly suggest getting it. Like, this figure used to be the gold fucking standard when it came to Marvel Legends Venom figures. And until the movie Venom came out, and then they started abusing the hell out of that sculpt. I really suggest getting this one if you want the nostalgia, but I also do suggest getting the movie Venom or whatever Venom figure they have that uses the movie Venom mold. Like that I still have to get my hands on that. Anyway, great figure at number 10 spot. And at the number 9 spot, we have the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Gwen figure. This is actually going to be my next review, so keep an eye out for that one. This figure is pretty great. This helps me actually diversify my figures because, as you can plainly see, most of the figures I have are male figures, mostly Spider-Man male figures, but this is a really amazing Gwen figure. The Marvel Legends one isn't doing it for me, and no other company has actually bothered making a Spider-Gwen, aside from Hot Toys, but I don't collect Hot Toys. I know the Mafex Gwen figure is out there, but honestly, I don't really trust Mafex figures that much. But anyway, this is a great figure. I would highly suggest getting it because this is a reissue of it. Like, articulation is really good. But once again, this is the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi line, so of course the fucking articulation is going to be top notch. Like, once again, like, fucking great. I know the weird shoulder joints are going to be a turnoff for some people, but I suggest ignoring it. Like, it's not that bad. It's not gonna kill you, come on. At the number 8 spot, we have the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Spider-Man. Now, this figure gets some points knocked off due to the fact that the proportions are a little wonky, especially in these thighs. Like, those thighs look so fucking weird. And the shoulders are got a weird gap in them. But it's just, this figure is fucking amazing. I can't say that enough. Like, the articulation alone kind of just nullifies all complaints that I had about the fucking sculpt being broken, because each and every weird design choice made for this is in benefit for the figure itself. Like, his head can fucking do this. Like, come on. And once again, this figure can pull off a lot of those crazy, wacky poses from the comics. So, especially the McFarlane comics. So if you want a Spider-Man figure that can pull off those weird, wacky poses, I highly suggest getting this one. And yes, I am well aware that Revoltech is doing a Spider-Man 2.0. Yes, I placed a pre-order, but I'm telling you right now, I really don't like the suit they used for it. At the number 7 spot, we have the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi War Machine. This figure is... Funny story about this one. I actually have a fully scripted review of this that I made about 2 years ago, just ready to go, but I never recorded it because first I had that shitty ass laptop and I was not up to recording a review for it. I'm still thinking about doing it. Let me know in the comments section below if you actually want me to review this figure, because this figure is really fucking cool. It looks like it's based on the design from Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man on the brain. This looks like its design is based on the Iron Man 2 Mark 1 War Machine, which is the best version of War Machine, don't at me. And you can even get the Gatling gun on him. The only complaint I really have is that these joints, like I feel like Revoltech really got lazy with these, because these joints are really fucking loose. Like, look at that shit. That's pathetic. But after working with the joints sometime, you can kind of find a even balance in it. I just wish these joints were really, at least these joints specifically for like the optional pieces were stronger. Also, I wish the miniguns were bigger. This guy comes with a shit ton of accessories for playability options. Like, you can outfit him out, like, holy shit. Also, the articulation, once again, top-notch articulation. Like, do you really expect anything less from the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi line? Like, come on. Do you really expect anything less? They prioritize posability above the design of the figure, which luckily they didn't do. They kind of even it out with this one. At number 6, we have this giant motherfucker. You see, the Torbiz 18-inch Spider-Man is a Spider-Man I never thought I would get, because I'm not into getting giant-ass figures. That's why I don't collect the Hot Toys line. But this guy is a fucking exception. This guy is fucking amazing. His articulation is just fucking off the charts. The sculpt, for the most part, is really fucking good. I think the only complaint I really have is the head. But some people have pointed out it looks more like the No Way Home mask. The No Way Home mask isn't exactly my favorite for obvious reasons. But this guy just... Oh my god. All of his joints still hold up to this day. And I really suggest getting him. Even if you have to get him secondhand. I remember somebody commenting on the actual review of this figure, telling me that they're going to get it for Christmas. Hey buddy, if you're watching this video, get this. Get this. You need to get this. This is an amazing Christmas present. You should get this. At number 5, we have movie Revoltech Judy Hopps. Judy Hopps is really, I know, like, amongst all these fucking Spider-Man figures on my fucking list, this bunny stands out because she's actually one of my favorite characters from the fucking movie. Once again, Revoltech did a stand-up job when it came to bringing this character to life. It almost makes me feel like they had actual access to the movie models. I think the only real complaint that I have is these eyes. They kind of suck. They're those types of eyes you have to pop the faceplate off and move yourself, and sometimes it can cause some bullshit at the helm. And also, another complaint is that her head is way too easily removable. I mean, the head is... They should have did a ball joint for this, let's be real. I think this is one of those cases to where Revoltech kind of relies on these joints a little too much. And they really should have just stuck with doing a ball joint for it. Because it does limit some of the posability. And as I mentioned before, it pops off way too fucking much when I'm trying to move the head around. Like, I could just be doing this and it just fucking pops off. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, Judy is, like, one of my favorite characters in the fucking movie. Like, completely. Like, there's no ulterior motive as to why I have this. There's something about a bunny cop that is extremely attractive. Hashtag not furry. At the number 4 spot, we have the Sci-Fi Revoltech Spider-Man 3 figure. This figure is really good. I just don't think it deserves that Spider-Man 3 label because, as you can plainly see, as I pointed out in my retrospective review, this is the Spider-Man 1 chest logo. I mean, come on, they could have just used the Spider-Man 3 front logo. Like, it could not have been that difficult. I'm a little disappointed they never made a black suit variant of this figure. And also, I'm a little disappointed in his size. Like, he's like at 5 inches. And I guess that was normal for the norm of the Sci-Fi Revoltech line. But he's a really good figure. I highly suggest picking him up. Don't go on eBay because this fucker has been bootlegged to hell and back. If you're going to go on eBay, make sure you fucking scour those listings because there are a lot of bootlegs out there. I know a lot of people are probably wondering whatever happened to those 6-inch modded figures that I was supposed to get. I got them, but I sold them. For those of you who are wondering why I had forsaken Heresy, it's just due to the fact that I needed the money. I just seriously needed the money. But as a consolation prize, I was able to keep the web lines and also this Tobey Maguire head sculpt from VM Toys. As I can just pop it off and just plug this right here because I use this putty to keep him in place. And now I have an unmasked Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, it doesn't really fit this scale. Actually, this head does fit. This head fits the scale perfectly, and I can just picture this being just a younger Spider-Man as compared to, you know, this guy. But yeah, number 4 spot, the movie Sci-Fi Revoltech Spider-Man 3. Our number 3 spot, we have the Toy Biz Spider-Man 2 Superposable Spider-Man. Now, there's a really funny story about this one. I originally had a different Superposable Spider-Man 2 figure. I think it was the Pizza Scooter Spider-Man, or a different one, similar to that. But I brought it to school like a fucking moron, and my friend broke it. So after some time, she was finally able to get me a replacement. This being the one. I actually specifically asked her to get this one because we couldn't find the specific one she actually broke because, of course, people are going to scalp the fuck out of these figures because they're Raimi figures. Why wouldn't they scalp the fuck out of them? These are technically heirlooms. These are fucking relics. These are fucking relics. But some of the paint has faded on mine, and I actually went in and touched it up with a paintbrush. There is a bit of damage right here because I accidentally dropped it on the fucking ground and it scratched up the spider a little bit, and I was able to go in and kind of fix some of it with paint. But overall, this thing still holds up pretty well to this day. There is some like super glue that I had to put in there to fix some of the joints. But it's really a fucking amazing figure to add to your collection. Even if you don't necessarily like this, if you're a Raimi fan, I highly suggest getting this figure. Watch, this will be booted from its favorite spot on my list by the fucking SH Figuarts Toby figure. At the number 2 spot, we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends First Appearance Spider-Man. This figure honestly blew my mind. Like, this has been absolutely my favorite figure from Hasbro so far. And oh no, there's a paint defect. Now, before you think I got gypped, scammed, and bamboozled, no, that's not what happened. Because if you go back and watch the original review, this scratch is nowhere on the fucking photos I took. No, this scratch right here is actually my fault. Word to the wise, if you're gonna collect action figures, flight stands are gonna be a must. You can't escape them. You need to get flight stands, especially if you want to get cool aerial poses out of heroes like Spider-Man or Iron Man or some shit. Now, this Spider-Man does not come with a flight stand because it's fucking Hasbro. Why would they give you a flight stand? So I actually buy random flight stands like when I can to help accommodate for the fact that some of these can fly. Now, I didn't know this, but NECA actually sells their own flight stands at like Target or some shit, and I got like 2 or 3 of them. But the thing about NECA flight stands, and this is the only way I will suggest for you not to get NECA flight stands, is shit like this. For one, the claw doesn't actually sit on here straight. I don't know if you can tell, but it's crooked. The reason for that is like this is a hexagonal peg instead of it being like a fucking like circle peg. So as a result, you have to put it in a specific way or else it's like not going to fit. And you can't turn it, you can't twist it. And to make matters worse, the claws on these have teeth on them. And this is the claw that I had this guy sitting in. So you can probably understand where that little scratch on his stomach came from. We're just gonna ignore it. We're just gonna ignore it. It's not that big a deal. It just pisses me off that that happened because of NECA's fucking bullshit. I am telling you, do not get these stands. Don't get these stands. I am telling you right now, if you find these stands at Target, spit on them. Don't actually spit on them because you'll get kicked out. But do not buy these stands. I just do not buy these. Huh. All those guys are out of the way. Which leaves us at the number 1 spot. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my number 1 spot for my favorite figure of all time that I own is the Sentinel SV Toys Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse. This figure is just absolute fucking gold. I was so lucky when I got my hands on this. I actually picked this up from my, well, now ex-girlfriend's house before we went to go see No Way Home, and it was a great day. We fucking had a lot of fun. This figure is just fucking amazing. There's nothing, there's barely anything you can find to complain about this figure. The proportions are great. The articulation is just fucking top notch. The fucking, like, the accessories are also pretty good. I think the only complaint I can find about the accessories is that, like, the webs are plugged into the whipping hands themselves, and you can't pull them out. That's probably the only complaint I could find. And also, on the topic of his hands are static. It's just a swivel there. Like, there's no actual fucking other movement you can get out of it. Which also is another really negative about this figure. They didn't really think of that, but then again, they probably would not have been able to make a peg size enough. They probably were unable to really think of a joint that could accommodate for that wouldn't break. So I'll let them slide for this one. Now, if you're wondering, yes, I have been paying attention to what SV has been doing lately with their Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse line. I want to get the Peter Parker one, the deluxe one that comes with the gargoyle base, but I don't have the money for that. I'm also aware that they made Penny Parker and Spider, which is a really good fucking figure from what I've seen. My only complaint is that Penny Parker is just a static statue. Why would you do that? That seems so lazy. They could have made Penny her own fully articulated figure. Now, you can make all the cum jar jokes you want, but I still feel like it's really lazy that they made Penny Parker a fucking statue. Like, why would you do that? And also, I am fully aware that they're also doing Spider-Gwen next, with Spider-Ham as an accessory. Are you fucking kidding me? At least they give Spider-Ham a lot more accessories so he just doesn't feel like a statue, like you actually have posability options for him. So that's always nice. My only real complaint about the SV Toys Spider-Gwen is that they kind of fucked up her face sculpt. I like the prototype head sculpt better than the official one they went with. I feel like the first one is, it's more cute, it's more attractive. The second one just looks like it came straight out of a porno. First one goes, I'll have your son home by 10. Second one goes, your son calls me mommy too. Like, I like this one better. The freckles are more pronounced, their hair looks better. The second one, not so much. I still might pick it up if I get the money for it, but it's a maybe. I like the fact that they gave her like her Visions Academy outfit, but looking at the promotional materials, it looks like her Academy outfit is not posable at all. Are you fucking kidding me, SV Toys? Hope you enjoyed this quick little video. I wanted to put something else out there before I started getting further into my studies. I had to take a break from a research paper I have for English class to do this. Let me know which of the figures in the review or this little top 12 was your favorite. Which ones do you want to see me review on the list that actually haven't been reviewed? Just let me know in the comment section. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.